Okay, we are here on number 11 in our Mock STAAR EOC, and we're going to go ahead and get going. A student worked out at a gym continuously for 50 minutes. The graph shows the remaining percentage of the workout in a linear. It's a line, a function of x, the time in minutes. The x is equal to the time in minutes. So if I show you the graph here, or the question says, which answer choice best describes the domain and the range of the function for this situation? Your domain is your x, and your range is your y. Make those notes, please. On domain, we're going on our x values. That's down here, the minutes. The line starts at 0 and ends at 50. Those are your x values. So look at your choices. Do not get discouraged by the ones I've marked out. This was my own error a while ago. So let's look at choice A. Domain, all real numbers greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 100. Well, 100 is not true, so A is not the answer. Your domain is not -2. That's not really a domain. Your domain cannot be 100. That's not really a domain. So it should be C. Domain, all real numbers greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 50. Yes. And your range is your Y. It's 0 to 100. Yes. So C is your answer. C. All right, number 12. The graph of the quadratic parent function is f. It was transformed to create this graph. G of x equals f of x plus 2 minus 5. Which graph best represents G? Okay, so what this is saying here is when you're comparing it to a parent function, which the parent function is just a regular parabola like this. This is your parent. Which one represents G? So it says G of x is x plus 2 minus 5. So x plus 2 minus 5. X plus 2 means we're going to the left. We're going to shift to the left 2. And minus 5 means we're going to go down 5. So let's see which one does that. Goes to the left 2, 1, 2, and down 5. It's H. This one does not go down. Oh, sorry, it's H. J does not go down 5. G goes down 5, but it goes to the right 2. We have to go to the left. So it can't be G. And then F, this one did not go down 5. If you couldn't remember that x plus 2 meant you go to the left 2, you could put this in your calculator as this and see what happens. You would find that line. And it should look like H. Number 13. Which expression is equivalent to this for values of m, p, and v where the expression is defined? Really what they're wanting you to do here is just simplify. Simplify those exponents. All right? So all you're doing here is dividing. So we're going to start with 45 divided by 15. That is 3. Okay, then we are dividing. That means you subtract when it comes to exponent rules. P-man ds. Okay, ds. When you divide your exponents, you subtract them. So -6 minus -2. You can just do this on your calculator. -6 minus -2 is a -4. So you end up with an m of -4. So we're going to go ahead and put that m on the bottom. And then We're done with the m's. Next is your p's. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. So again, the p's are going to be on the bottom as well. When we put them on the bottom, it makes them positive. So we're done with that. And then 12 minus negative 4 is a 16. So that gives us a v of a 16. So it looks like the answer is B. Number 14. What is the positive solution to this equation? All right. We're solving for x, which means we're going to need to put it equal to 0 first. So we're going to need to move this over here. So we have 4x squared plus 12x minus 135 equals 0. This is the equation you are working with. Okay? You can solve this in one of two ways. You can solve it with your quadratic formula, where you have an A, a B, and a C. Or you can solve it by putting it in y equals in your calculator and then going to your table to see where y equals 0, because that's where your solutions are going to be. Solutions are your x-intercepts. So I'm going to do the shorter way here. I'm going to put it in y equals. So I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm just going to put in what I have here. 4x squared plus 12x minus 135. And then I'm going to go to my table. And I'm going to look to see where y is 0. Okay, so here's the problem. It's not, that means that it's not in the calculator. So what that tells us is that the answers are going to be decimals. Alright, so let's go ahead and do our quadratic formula. You should have had this on your, the formula is on your reference guide. Your A is 4, your B is 12, and your C is negative 135. Remember, the formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I'm going to just put that in right here. Just inputting what I have. So down here, this is going to equal 8. I'm going to work out this part here. 12 squared is 144 minus 4 times 4 times negative 135 is negative 2160. So that's going to be 2 plus plus. 2160 plus 144 is 2304. Okay, so the square root, so what we have here is we have negative 12 plus or minus square root of 2304 all over 8. So I just worked out the square root of 2304. I mean, you're not expected to know that. It's 48. So now, your two problems are negative 12 plus 48 divided by 8 and negative 12 minus 48 divided by 8. So let's do the first one, the positive one. Negative 12 plus 48 divided by 8 is 4.5. Okay, and really we can stop there because it says on the question, it says what is the positive solution? Your other one's going to be negative because it's going to be a negative divided by positive. So the answer is 4.5. That's what you should have put in on your test. That one was long, but it's okay. I'm going to keep going. Number 15, a grill at a barbecue restaurant will be used to cook sausage links that are 2 pounds each and briskets that are 6 pounds each. No more than 120 pounds of sausage links and briskets can be cooked on the grill. Which inequality represents all possible combinations of X, the number of sausage links that will be cooked on the grill, and Y, the number of briskets that will also be cooked? Okay, so here, let's just map out what we have. So you have two x plus 6y equals 120. That's what this says. 2 pounds and 6 pounds equals 120. That's our first thing. And that's the system we're going to need to do to solve this. Oh, it actually has to be an inequality, so because x is the number of sausage links and y is the number of briskets. Okay, so no more than. No more than is a key word. No more than means less than or equal to. So B is your answer. Number 16, which expression is equivalent to this plus this? So really what you're doing here is adding like terms. You're simplifying. Alright, so let's add up our regular numbers. We have a 10 and a negative 18. And that's going to give you a negative 8. We have r's. We have a 7 and a 5. That's going to give you a 12r. And we have some r squareds. We have a negative r squared and a positive, no, negative 1 r squared plus a negative 6r squared. And that's going to give you a negative 7r squared. So just put those in order. You usually start with your squared term. Negative 7r squared plus 12r minus 8. So that's H. 17. Which graph best represents the solution set of y is greater than 3x minus 4? Alright, so greater than means we're going to shade above. Shade above. So A is out and C is out. Those are shaded below. So now we look at where it crosses the x-axis. When y-axis, it should be at negative 4. Yes. Yes. So the difference between these two lines here is that one is solid and one's dotted. This is greater than or equal to. Well, the problem was greater than. It's a dotted line, so it's D. Number 18. A bank account earning annual compound interest was opened and no additional withdrawals or deposits were made after the initial deposit. The balance in the account after X number of years can be modeled by this function. Okay? Which statement is the best interpretation of one of the values? So if I were you, I would put this in your calculator. Y equals 850, 1.025 to the X. Always start there. If you can put it into y equals, please do. So the problem with this is that these are huge numbers, so you're not going to actually be able to see it unless you were to zoom out. But you can go to the table. The table should be able to show you. At 0 years, it says 0 is the number of years. X is the number of years. When X is 0, the Y is 850. The initial balance is 850. So it's not H, because it was 850. After 1 year, it's not 850, it's 870. When X is 1, it's 871.25. The initial balance of the account decreases at a rate of 97.5% each year. The initial balance in the account increases at a rate of 2.5% each year. So look and see what's happening. Is it going up or going down? It is increasing. So your answer is G. It is not decreasing. Number 19, a company collected data for the number of text messages sent and received using a text message application since October 2011. The table shows the number of text messages sent and received in billions over time. The data can be modeled by a quadratic function. All right, so we have blah, blah, blah. This is your table. So which function best represents the model? Okay, so this is what I would do if I were you. I would put it in stat edit. These are your L1s and these are your L2s. Let's do that. So my L1s. I know this is a lot to enter. Then I'm going to go stat edit, stat calc, number 4 and 5 enters. Okay, so it tells me that my regular function would be 2.16x plus a negative 13.17, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you get these. So let's see what this says. This is in squared terms. So let's look at the graph. We know that it's increasing, so it's going to be positive, so it's not A or C. And we also know that it is going to be a trinomial because there's a squared, a t, and a whatever. So we're going to, the answer is B, because this one doesn't have a t. So in the calculator, when we did our stat edit, it's okay. This is going to give us a linear function. This is an exponential. So that's why they don't match. Then you have to look at it as an exponential function with a quadratic, a parabola. Okay? Last one, number 20. The graph of the linear function is shown on the grid. What is the rate of change of y with respect to x for this function? Okay, so change of y with respect to change of x. It's wanting to know is your slope. So your slope, if you look at your STAAR reference guide, you would know that the slope of a line is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is hard. Hey. Yes. Well, like, there was one set I put in that was one-sided, and I want that to be one, like, I want that to be two. It's two papers. So, one of the back of the first page, I believe, was blank. So I don't have to have a blank sheet on the first one. And I want them to be exactly how they are on the paper, except for that one that has a blank back. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, bye. Okay, here we are. So we have y2 minus y1. This is your x1 and your x2. This is your y1 and your y2. Okay, so y2 is 2 minus y1 is 3.6. And that's over x2, which is 5, minus a negative 3. So just work out, sorry, didn't show you that. Just work out on your calculator both of those things. 2 minus 3.6 is 2 minus 3.6 is a negative 1.6. And 5 minus a negative 3 is a positive 8. So negative 1.6 divided by 8 is a negative 0.2. That's what you should have bubbled in on your test. Alright? Okay. That's it for this warm-ups of the mock EOC 11 through 20.